Hi, this is Dr. Chris Mageria with another installment of Our Constitution. As you know, I am running for the office of United States House of Representatives from the 3rd Congressional District of Indiana. I often say that we can't know where we're going without knowing where we came from. And that is why I am engaged in this, well, you could call it audio book series of reading through the Constitution. The Constitution was the document meant to secure our God-given natural rights and liberties. It's very dry, and it's written in contract form, but it's very, very important. The founders put into this document thought into every phrase, every word, every punctuation mark, every sentence. So while you may think this is just some wild form of 18th century English, no, it all had a purpose. If you want a little more robust didactic session, I could refer you to someone like Chris Ann Hall. She's a very ebullient and effusive constitutional lecturer, and she has a series of lectures about various constitutional subjects, and her style is a little bit more lively than mine, but I'm going to have to read these things. So let's continue on with Article 2, the executive branch. And again, just listen, close your eyes, and think about things that are going on in our world right now. Article 2, Section 1. The executive shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. He shall hold his office during the term of 4 years, and, together with the Vice President, chosen for the same term, be elected as follows. Okay, now what I'm going to be reading to you is not really the way it's done. The election of the president and vice president, while basically the same with the Electoral College, has been manipulated a bit over the years with some other amendments. So when I read through this and you hear things that just don't sound right, that will be explained in later amendments to this process. But the basic framework is there. Each state shall appoint in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors, equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress. But no senator or representative or person holding an office or trust or profit under the United States shall be appointed an elector. This is the so-called Electoral College. The electors shall meet in their respective states and vote by ballot for 2 persons, one of whom one at least shall not be an inhabitant of the same state with themselves. And they shall make a list of all the persons voted for and the number of votes for each, which list they shall sign and certify and transmit sealed to the seat of the government of the United States, directed to the President of the Senate. The President of the Senate shall, in the presence of the Senate and House of Representatives, open all the certificates, and the votes shall then be counted. The person having the greatest number of votes shall be the President, if such number be a majority of the whole number of electors appointed. And if there be more than one who have such majority and have an equal number of votes, then the House of Representatives shall immediately choose by ballot one of them for president. And if no person have a majority, then from the 5 highest on the list, the said House shall in like manner choose the president. But in choosing the president, the votes shall be taken by states, the representatives from each state having 1 vote. A quorum for this purpose shall consist of a member or members from 2/3 of the states, and a majority of all states shall be necessary to a choice. In every case, after the choice of the president, the person having the greatest number of votes of the electors shall be the vice president. But if there should remain two or more who have equal votes, the Senate shall choose from them by ballot the vice president. The Congress may determine the time of choosing of the electors and the day on which they shall give their votes, which day shall be the same throughout the United States. Now you can see that this initial form, although they thought it was good, it could be and did lead to a situation in where a president and vice president of the opposite parties were elected. So this has been modified until we have the system of today. I go on. No person except a natural-born citizen or a citizen of the United States at the time of the adoption of this Constitution shall be eligible to the office of President. Neither shall any person be eligible to that office who shall not have attained to the age of 35 years and been 14 years a resident within the United States. So we've already seen that this definition of natural-born citizen has controversy. The founders, however, did define these things, and you can find it in their writings. In case of the removal of the president from office or of his death, resignation, or inability to discharge the powers and duties of said office, the same shall devolve on the vice president, and the Congress may by law provide for the case of removal, death, resignation, or inability, both of the president and vice president, declaring what officer shall then act as president, and such officer shall act accordingly until the disability be removed or the president shall be elected. The president shall, at stated times, receive for his service a compensation which shall neither be increased nor diminished during the period for which he shall have been elected, and he shall not receive within that period any other emolument from the United States or any of them. Before he enter on the execution of office, he shall take the following oath or affirmation. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Section 2. The President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states when calling into the actual service of the United States. He may require the opinion in writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices, and he shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in cases of impeachment. He shall have power by and with the advice and consent of the Senate to make treaties, provided 2/3 of the senators present concur, and he shall nominate and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by law. But that the Congress may by law vest the appointment of such inferior officers as they think proper in the President alone, in the courts of law, or in the heads of departments. The President shall have power to fill up all vacancies that may happen during the recess of the Senate, by granting commissions which shall expire at the end of their next session. Section 3. He shall from time to time give to the Congress information on the state of the Union, and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. he may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses or either of them, and in case of disagreement between them with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he think proper. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers. He shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed, and shall commission all the officers of the United States. It was actually an important sentence. Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. I'm going to repeat that. Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Well, that was Article 2 of our Constitution. Again, still a little dry, but as you can see, very, very important. Next, in the series of podcasts here, I will go over Article 3, the judicial branch. Some had maintained the judicial branch was going to be the weakest branch of government. Little did they know. Fast forward a couple hundred years. Although Thomas Jefferson had his suspicions. All right, until next time, this is Dr. Chris Magiera with the Constitution Solution. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like, or share. I'm Chris Magiera, and I approve this message. Paid for by friends at Chris Magiera Incorporated.